So I'm leaving for London later today. I have a client and I also putting together a few things like this video before I leave, but I'm leaving for London today. Today I wanted, also just woke up. Today I wanted to show you what it is that I bring on my flight to make sure, and for my travels, to make sure that I'm healthy during my whole trip so I don't get sick and so that I can actually enjoy my trip. A lot of this, first of all, I'm not huge on supplements, but they can be really useful in situations like traveling. I'll be sharing a few different supplements with you that I bring on my flight, that I take before my flight, and that I take while I'm there. All right, now first things first, because of course the airport always is filled with a bunch of icky recycled air and I don't want to get sick for my trip, have been loading up on vitamin C. I've been using this for the past couple weeks because I really want to make sure that I'm building up my immune system so that I don't get sick before the trip, but also I want to make sure I'm not getting sick on the flight as well. I've been taking about 500 to 1,000 milligrams, actually more like 1,000 milligrams per day. I also just took 500 milligrams from this. I'll take another 500 right before I get on my flight, and that'll just help to prevent any colds that I could possibly get. This isn't my usual magnesium that I use, but I am bringing magnesium for the trip as well as on the flight. Magnesium helps to naturally increase your melatonin, so I don't like to take melatonin because it does cause it to, so that your body produces less eventually. What I do is I load up on magnesium on the flight to help me just relax my muscles, go to sleep. And I also bring it for while traveling because of course, I don't know about you guys, but I always tend to have a more difficult time sleeping in a new place. So I like to make sure that I have magnesium with me, and that helps to make sure that I can fall asleep and have so much fun when I'm there. So these are some probiotics. I don't regularly take probiotics, but I've been taking these for probably the past month now, just to make sure that I have a good level of good bacteria in my body, because that helps to make it so it competitively inhibits any bad bacteria. It makes it so that, less likely to get what word am I trying to say? Food poisoning. That's it. Makes it less likely so you get food poisoning. It also makes it so that, while traveling, you can easily pick up bugs that you aren't familiar with in that area. So it helps to competitively inhibit those out as well. So I've been taking these. I'm going to take it again before I leave. I'm also going to be taking it throughout the trip as well. All right, you guys know, can't go without salt. It's so important, especially for when traveling. Check out one of the articles that's specifically just on salt down below. Most people are pretty deficient in a lot of minerals, and Celtic sea salt is an unrefined salt that makes it so that you can actually get those electrolytes that you need in order to balance your electrolytes and become more hydrated. First, after flying, dehydration is one of the most common things that happens, right? Having Celtic sea salt, adding a pinch of that into your water that you have on your flight, and if you add a pinch after you land, it helps to just make it so that you don't feel as dry, and that can, when you do feel dehydrated, that can lead to a headache. So this helps to prevent all that. If you also plan on working out during your trip, which I don't, but I am going to be walking a lot, probably about 15 to 20,000 steps per day, which is why I put my Fitbit back on, just to see out of curiosity. If you're flying, especially, have Celtic sea salt a little bit with you, but then bring some Celtic sea salt. I have a whole little mini jar of it already in my bag. Bring some Celtic sea salt with you as well to have during your trip so you don't get headaches. And balance your electrolytes. Okay, now because my flight's not till 6 o'clock tonight, but I do have a pretty hectic day because I'm still working today. So I've pre-made my salad for lunch today, and it's just a green salad. I pretty much put together everything that I had left over in my fridge. Since it was Christmas the other day, I had a bunch of leftover chicken, so I threw that in here. I have avocado and lettuce and cabbage, pumpkin seeds. I'll put some olive oil and balsamic on this. This is gonna be my lunch, and since travel days are really hectic and I want to make sure that I load up on healthy foods before I leave, I made sure to make this last night so that I don't have to worry about making it today. Because I don't know, travel days get me really, I can get a little bit of travel anxiety because there's just so much to do. I wanted to reduce that as much as possible. So having lunch even prepared before my flight even starts was key for me. I made Trevor and myself a sandwich. So I usually don't make sandwiches. This is actually very odd for me to make a sandwich. My mom's place, she had sandwiches and she had a bunch of sandwich stuff left over, and I really didn't want to have to the terrors of doing this at 7 a.m. I really didn't want to have to buy food for the like couple days that I was in town before I left for a week. So she offered so generously to give me stuff to make sandwiches. I made a very veggie packed sandwich. So you can see this is Trevor's. Can you see? Trevor. And again, I loaded it up with some healthy proteins. I think I put in some chicken in here, a half of avocado for each of us. I also put in a lot of lettuce. It's essentially more of like a salad that's stuffed into 2 pieces of bread. You can't really tell. It's pretty thick. It was a little squashed from being in my fridge, but it's pretty thick and it's filled with a lot of veggies, has healthy fat to keep us satiated, has the protein to keep us satiated. So that's going to be like our meal tonight. And then I also brought this, can't really see, but it's like a nut mixture. And this is great to bring while on your flight. It's really hard to get around the fact that like on a flight you're bored, and bored eating happens. It just does. I wanted to make sure that I don't accidentally bored eat on something that's available in the airport that won't be as good for me. In this it has cashews, goji berries, pumpkin seeds, a lot of things that'll actually keep me satiated and not just like want to keep snacking. For example, if I had like chips or crackers, anything that's processed, that would make it so that I would just keep craving stuff. So you know how I've talked about this with you guys, like if you have something super processed, that will cause a really high spike in your blood glucose level, and because it's so detrimental for your body to have a high blood glucose level, it will overcompensate in order to try and lower that really quickly. It'll immediately lower your blood glucose to below the baseline. And whenever you're below that baseline, that's low blood sugar or hypoglycemia. And if you watch my channel before, you know that that low blood sugar also can lead to anxiety. Of course, for me, always trying to reduce anxiety, so that's why I want to make sure I have satiating snacks that won't cause crazy spikes and falls in blood glucose levels. It'll also just make it so that my mood's more stable and I'm actually satiated and not constantly craving food. For now, I'm gonna keep that in the fridge, or else it won't be good by the time we get on the flight. Also, before my flight, I'm going to break my fast around 10:30 because I have a client at 12, so I want to make sure I have plenty of time to drink my smoothie before that. I am also going to make sure that I have a smoothie. I have so many smoothie recipes. You can just check out my Instagram. I have a lot of different smoothie recipes that you can play around with, but the one I'm going to be doing today is a ginger cacao smoothie from my new detox that I'll be doing when I start, or that I'll be starting when I come back from London, because I think I'll need it. I'm having the ginger cacao smoothie. Again, it's packed with healthy fats that help stabilize my blood glucose levels and just make it so that I'll not have anxiety, and that's very important. Oh, and you wanna know something cool? While I was packing last night, Trevor and I have like this little sweater that we bought for Sherlock last Christmas, and we couldn't find it, and came across it. I'm excited to put that on him next year. All right, so that's about going to wrap it up on what it is that I do when I'm at the airport the day of traveling in order to have that healthy travel. Again, one of the really important tips, like I mentioned, is to make sure that you don't have melatonin. Now, I know it's really easy to have melatonin, think that it's going to help you just pass out, but especially while traveling, you don't want to mess up your hormones. You don't want to feel bad or anything. So make sure that instead of doing the melatonin, you have the magnesium, which will definitely be a lot better for your hormones and make it so that your body won't stop producing that melatonin, which would be bad. Okay guys, I'm going to be vlogging the experience in London, sharing some healthy spots in London, so make sure you stay tuned. Really excited, and it's gonna be so fun, and I'm gonna eat some amazing food. We have a lot of really cool restaurants lined up that we're going to check out. You know, it's really important to make sure that you take time to just unwind and relax, and this year has been crazy and like so awesome, but crazy. So I wanted to make sure that I got some time alone with Trevor and we could just enjoy ourselves. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel, and I do come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, so make sure that you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.